So if we can just touch back on basically the conspiracy charges back in 2002. So now you're facing 36 years. Now within the court system, it's a matter of them proving that you've actually done something, right? So you went through the court proceedings, I guess, and you went on trial and stuff, but they actually gave you a 5-year sentence.
Yeah, that was because halfway through the trial, one of my co-defendants took a plea bargain,
Right.
for 5 years. So then when we got the not guilty on the trial, the jury have asked a question, and then the judge has said, yeah, and then we got found guilty by association to the firearm. Imagine that.
So all the other charges...
19 murders, shootings, not guilty,
yeah.
and we got found guilty by association to the MAC-10 silencer.
Right. Crazy.
And I got 5.5 years for that.
So the judge asked the jury a question.
Now the jury asked the judge a question.
Do you know that question?
I don't know. But I just jumped up. I said, you're fucking scumbags. I said, do you know what? What's in her bag? You fucking mug. What's in her bag? You're on a jury with her, you cunt. I bet she's got a dildo in her bag you don't know about. You fucking idiots. Fuck, I got the hump.
Yeah.
I got the hump. Do you know what I mean? I just went nuts in there because I'm thinking, wow, how could you say that? I don't even know what's in my girlfriend's fucking handbag, let alone my pals.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and you don't turn up and say, oh, do you know what? By the way, I've got ammo and a gun in my bag.
Sure.
No one does. If you're carrying a strap, you don't tell no one you got a tool. You don't. You don't get someone's car and say, oh, I've got a MAC-10 and a silencer here, chaps. You don't mind, do you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It don't happen.
For sure.
You're going somewhere quiet, bro. Everything's hush, mum. But then they make it out on trial that we all know what's in each other's bags. They don't know that some people in the car don't know you got crack down your pants. Don't know you got a gun or a blade. They don't know because they wouldn't be in that fucking car if they knew you had it on you.
If you had it, yeah. Exactly.
But they don't let you know that. They make you believe that everybody's a fucking criminal. They don't let you know that only 2% of us are criminals. Do you know what I mean? The smallest percent of villains, the smallest percent of humans are criminals. We're a minority criminals.
Right.
Fucking 0.2% of the population are criminals. Right? That's not even 800,000 people in England. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? 800,000 people. Not even 800,000 people are criminals, and they're all fucking broke.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, none of them own their own houses. I mean, if they do, they're getting confiscated.
Definitely.
For what? What's the fucking point? Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
What's the point?
And I guess you did the 5 years and 5.5 years, I believe.
5.5 years, yeah.
And so afterwards, I believe you decided to leave the country.
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Basically, all the people we got arrested for, so we're nicked for 19 murders and all this bollocks, and all the people that my pals worked for, all their older lot. So like I said to you, I got involved with a lot of my people when they were getting in problems. So I got in to help them deal with their problems.
Right.
It just so happens that their problems got a little bit worse than I first expected. Right. So while we're on trial, yeah, I've reached out, because I'm an armed robber, I used to nick money, right? So I've reached out to their older lot and asked them if I could buy a slot, which is a compartment on their European transport. Sure. And what a slot is a compartment so I could have, not many, only 200,000 kilo. 2,000 kilo, I mean, not 200,000, 2,000 kilo, right? So it's not even half a ton, right? I'm buying 200 kilo every day. Or every week I'm saying we want to buy 200 kilo for the slot so we can have it once a week going in.
Right.
I said, don't worry about it, Marv, we're going to look after you. They sent £5,000 to share between me and two big grown men with 4 kids between the three of us. I said, how's that looking after me, bruv? Yeah. Don't worry, whatever you need. I thought, fuck that. So then, when after that, I told everybody, don't bother chatting to me. You're a scumbag. I want nothing more to do with you, mug. What do you think? Because while I was away, I got to put this out there because I'm fucking this scumbags, right? So while I'm away, one of the major gangsters, one of the heavy mob, one of the big boys, turns up at my missus' house, right? Listen, sweetheart, Marvin's with us. Our people don't go hungry. What we're going to do, beautiful, we're going to buy him a lovely house on the Thames. So we will need you to go and buy him the loveliest house you can buy. Right? We don't care. Get him a gap. £500,000, £1 million. He's doing 30 years for us. We'll do it. I said, all right. So she's come on a visit and told me this. I said, babe, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. They're not going to. What'll happen is they'll get a gaff on the Thames. They'll all want to use it. Do you know what I mean? It'll run into debt and then they'll leave you holding the bag. Don't do it, they're mugs. So she went, no, babe. I said, babe, don't. She went, what am I going to do? I said, I'll tell you what you do then. I'll tell you what you do. Fuck England, yeah, go to Spain, because Diddy was mum power, right? She's like my goddaughter's mum. So I said, go get Diddy and find out if there's any gaffs in Spain. So then there was a new complex getting built in Soto Grande, which is a nice part of Spain. And it cost X amount. I think it was about 50, 60 grand. Well, between 40 and 60 grand, say, right? I can't remember exactly what the deposit was. It was a few years ago. So the boys have come up promising her £500,000 dash, £1 million dash. Harrods Village. That was it. So she got offered a house in Harrods Village, right? Over near, it's over Barnes Way, right? Harrods Village over Barnes, right? So she got offered a Harrods Village gaff.
And that's
right?
a nice area I'm putting out
Right?
there. Yeah.
Harrods Village gaff and a Tobacco Wharf on the Thames. One of them two will get it for your love. Don't worry, Marv's with us. He's with us, sweetheart, yeah? You don't worry about nothing, sweetheart, yeah? So I'm like, I said, babe. Listen, they're not going to pay it, mate. They're not going to pay it. Please, do me a favour. If you want to buy something, go and find somewhere in Spain for us to go and, because I'm fucking off as soon as I come home. So she went, all right, sweet. So she goes over to Spain, finds a lovely gaff, about 40 to 60 grand deposit. So I said, yeah, sweet. So I've said to them, lot, bang, crash wallet. I said, yeah, sweet, not a problem, I'll get it. I said, all right, sweet. So she's going over there in a couple of weeks, a couple of months' time to sort it all out. Sweet, Marv, not a problem. So she's gone over there. So she's over there now, right, babe, we need 49 grand, we need, I said, yeah, sweet, but we need 49 grand sent over there. What it is, mate, any chance you could wait for a couple of weeks? I said, no, she's over there now. Well, I'll tell you what, could you stand on this now and I'll give it back to you when we're ready? I said, yeah, of course I can, not a problem, mate. He said, well, if you can do that. I said, all right, sweet. So I'm going, sweet, I'll just put it on your card, then I'll give you the readies back in a couple of weeks. So she's gone over there, put her fucking life on the card for this gaff. 2 weeks later, said, babe, what's happening to that money? I've got to pay the mortgage, I've got to pay this, got to pay that. So I said to the boys, yeah, what's happening to that bit of readies? I said, look, can't be got, mate. I was like, hold on. My missus has spent my last 40 quid on the gaff you're going to supposed to be buying. I need my money, mate. What's the matter with you? Well, what it is, mate, what it is. So I was like, wow, I'm fucked. I've got no money. And she's got no money. Now she's going to go nuts that she spent all her money. So then I've rung one of my pals. I said, mate, do you know what's happened? These lot took a fucking piss out of me, mate. He said, what happened, Mum? I told him, that's a fucking liberty. He said, they've got some readies round the corner, so I'll go and get it off of them, mate. I was like, yeah. So he's gone round someone else's house who owes money. Said, where's that bit of scratch? They've paid their money. So he's took that bit of money and brought it to me and said, there you go, that's for your mortgage. So then the firm have gone, where's that bit of money? He said they'll give it to Marv. So then they've tried to call him a scumbag and thieved him and told everybody that he's robbed the parcel.
It's crazy.
And he never robbed the parcel. So everybody knows now, yeah, that matey never robbed no money. He just returned my money that my missus spent. And all the other scumbags were the ones nicking money. Do you know what I'm saying,
I
John?
mean, you was owed that pretty much.
I was owed it. They promised me. I was doing that fucking 35 years for these cunts.
For sure.
Like, the least they could do is pay a fucking deposit. 60 grand for 35 years worth of life. Do you know what I mean? And that was when I decided, you know what, these people are no good. So that's when I come out and I thought, fuck them off, mate. I'm going to Spain.
And you
And I
took
went to
off
Spain,
basically, yeah. So would you say when you was over there, did your sort of criminal enterprises become internationalized a little bit, would you say?
Yeah, I went up the ladder, mate.
Yeah, so you met international figures, so to speak. Yeah.
Basically, I met the bosses. I met all the drug cartels from all around the planet. Right. And that's not being big-headed, that was being honest.
Right.
And I met them all. The Turks, even the Koreans and the Chinese. Yeah,
Yakuza, or whatever they're called.
The what?
Yakuza, is that the Japanese?
Yeah, the Japanese.
Japanese mafia or something, yeah.
Right, and watch this, yeah?
Yeah.
It's how mad it is, yeah? I had a row with the Chinese Triads lot over a pack of cards.
Yeah.
My daughter, right? So we were in a restaurant one night in Spain, and my daughter, we got over there at Christmas. My daughter's going, Dad, they're playing cards, get me a pack of cards. I said, yeah, sweet, no problems with it. Because I'm an ego freak, yeah? So I got over to all the Chinese fellas, I said, mind give me a pack of cards for my daughter, mate? And they've just all ignored me. I go, mate, hello, excuse me. And they're all just playing cards, ignoring me. And they're talking to each other. Mate. Hello, mate. excuse me, is there any chance I could buy a pack of cards? And they're all ignoring me. Every single, about 6 of them just ignoring me like I don't exist, mate. So I said, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what then. Fuck you, cunt. I just flipped the fucking table up in the restaurant and they've all jumped up. So I bang, 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 bang. It's kicked off in the restaurant. And then it's come outside and they've come outside with all the swords and all the bits and pieces. I picked up a chair. I'm having it with all the triads outside the restaurant and the whole bill got called and I got nicked. That was my first.
And where was this in Spain?
In Marbella, yeah.
Marbella.
My first weekend in Marbella, that was. I ended up in a police cell, got £800 fine, and then got released. And that was my first introduction to Marbella's nightlife.
Right.
And what I never realised about Marbella is, right, you've got all the criminal bosses from all around the world because it's the drug gateway to the world.
Right.
From Africa. It's the gateway for Europe.
Makes sense.
And I've only realised what it was when I got over there. Because you've got Algeciras, which is Africa. And they come through to Spain and to the rest of Europe. Boom, it's done. So you've got the whole continent of Africa getting all this dirty shit into Europe through Spain. And it was just simple. So I was in it, the deep end over there. But it was a thing that I loved. I felt like I'd reached my place.
Right, the heights.
And I smiled, right, because it was, I actually did believe like I'd succeeded in life and yeah. I'm telling you, I'm not even joking. And looking back with retrospect now, that pathetic mindset that I had of achievement, like I actually believed then I was the sickest man on the planet.
Right.
Only because I handled so much money.
I mean, I would say like, it's like, considering who you're rubbing shoulders with, I guess. I mean, they're not exactly no small players, innit? Like you're actually dealing with the top of the tier.
It was all the top of the tree. Everyone. Yeah. And that's like the Russians, the French, the
Turks, as you said,
the Turkish, the Irish. Like there wasn't an organisation. The Bulgarians, the Romanians, the Lithuanians. Like there ain't no one. There ain't no one that I never had it with at the highest level. There ain't no one. And I had it at the highest level with the hardest people from each group because I was a fighting man. So when I'm going to the gym, I'm watching people train, I'm like, rah, let me have a bit of spark. So I'm fighting everybody. I'm training with everybody. I want to do what everyone else is doing. So I sort of fitted in with all the bosses really easily because of my ambition to be the best human being I could be.
Right. Now, regarding basically a competition, I mean, you know, you've got these different figures, I guess, in organised crime, and all of them want a bit of the pie, basically, or some of the action, so to speak, innit? So is there like an agreement as far as between them, like, you know, we're going to do this, you're going to do that? Because, I mean, there's all different types of organised figures.
See, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the mythological thing that I've never understood why people think this, like, I never experienced that. Right? I never experienced that because I just done what the fuck I wanted. And if you come in front of me and try to tell me I'm not doing it, I'm telling you what? Fucking what? Right. What? I'm doing what I want. What? And that was what happened. When I got to Spain, it was like English, Irish, like fucking Scottish, Romanians, Lithuanians, Germans, Russians, Denmark, like every nationality. Right, Sweden, every nationality, even the fucking Hell's Angels from Denmark, like the Iranians, the fucking Iraqs, like Syrians, like every major nation on the planet was in Marbella doing drugs. I don't give a fuck, right? Everybody was doing, every nationality you could think of is in Marbella, being naughty, right?
Right.
And I just had to be in the mix. And I was at the level where I was competitive, to say the least, with violence and aggression, but I was out of my depth and I didn't even know it.
Right.
But I got the respect. I realise now that I actually got the respect. I could have been wiped out any day of the week because of all the groups that was over there. It could have wiped me out. Right. But I believe all the bosses really liked me because I was on my own.
Right.
And I think I got awarded that respect because I was on my own.
So, I mean, when you say on your own, I mean...
On my own.
So, just
on my own. What does on your own mean? I was on my own. That was it. No gangs, just me. Yeah, so when I had a problem with a gang.
Right.
It was either the Romanians, the French, the Syrians, like firms. If I had a problem with you and your firm. I never had a problem with individuals. And that was why I made such an impact. And I had problems with the Russians, the Romanians,
So would you
Bulgarians.
say there were people under you or just yourself?
Working for me. Well, see, I never had anyone working for me, but in a way they did. So for argument's sake, yeah?
Right.
For argument's sake, you're not as hard as me, you're not as game as me, you're not as forthgoing, yeah? So I'd say to you, do you fancy nicking a bit of money? Do you fancy doing a bit of driving for me? If you drive me, I'll give you X amount of money. So I'd find places to help people make money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I would never say to someone, here's a gun, you need to go and do this. Here's a thing, go and get that. If there's something to do and something to get, I'm the one doing it and I'm the one getting it. I'm never going to make anybody risk their liberty unless they want to come and work with me and they want to do something with me. But I'm always going to be at the front of the queue. Do you know what I mean? Always going to be at the front of the queue. There's no one getting put in my place.
Right.
And that was what I was in that game.
Right. So now, obviously, you being abroad now in Spain, could you talk to us a little bit about like the smuggling routes as far as, you know, things getting distributed? Because, you know, you have like basically things like hash, I guess, is coming from Morocco, and then, you know, there's those routes there through Spain, as you said, coming into Europe. Yeah. Yeah. So what can you tell us about the routes?
There's loads of different ways that people work with it, but the most common route in Spain, especially Marbella, with the villains that I work with, was that Moroccans work very tightly with the Guardia Civil, right, which are the Spanish police. So the Spanish police were the landing parties for the cannabis from Morocco, right? Or the Spanish police would work closely with the Spanish villains to land the thing, but the police would protect the villains. But then when the tons would come over, like they use these things, they're called ribs. They're like really fast boats,
right,
and they can hold up to 2-3 tons of puff on them. So I mean, so they use them, they're high speed, and then they've got helicopters shooting them out of the water. I mean, so it's cat and mouse across the plain, the Mediterranean Sea from Morocco, right? But then there's lookouts. There's times, there's places to do it, and there's times, the places when you know you can do it. And the only time you got to worry is when the national police are out.
Right.
When there's no national, you got the clear run. Then you got a bit of Ramadan that no one works. So it's just learning how everything works and how everything works and how everyone works. So in Spain, you got to work with a mayor, you got to work with the police, and you got to work with the councillors. You know what I mean? And that's how it works, because every family has a policeman in it.
Right.
So they all work with each other. It's kind of weird, it's strange, but everyone works with everyone. And they do all around the planet, like everyone, all these gangsters, snitchy, all the old lot work with old Bill. They have to work with old Bill.
Yeah.
They have to work with the police.
I guess, yeah.
They have to.
Definitely.
Yeah, they all throw their people under a bus. Do you know what I mean? They all throw their people. That's why all the major gangsters call everyone a grass. How can a man sit at the top of the hill call everyone a grass when he's been at the top of the hill for the longest period of time? Yeah,
he can only be there.
Mate, I got extradited from Spain for a phone call.
Right.
For a phone call. Right? For a phone call. I got extradited from Spain for a phone call to a stranger's house that I'd never been in 2 years.
Right.
I hadn't been in 2 years. Right? How do I get extradited? Where's the evidence? And then, I mean, so if they can do things to me, little old Marv, yeah, but you got these big major villains that are still in their area. Every day, every week, every year. And there's no conspiracy. There's no association. Huh? Huh? Work it out, mate.
1 + 1.
No association. Yeah?
Yeah.
No association. You don't even need a conspiracy no more. Just association law. You can get life for being an associate. Yeah?
For sure.
No evidence, just my associate.
For sure.
I got 5.5 years because the geezer walking up the street was my mate. And I didn't know what was in his bag, but I got 5.5 years because he had a gun on him.
Crazy.
Because I was his associate.
Crazy.
Right? Now, you're telling me that the police that are watching these gangsters in East London, North London and West London, in their area, every day committing crime, with all these other little gangsters committing crime, and no one's getting nicked? Ooh, I wonder why.
Bit fishy, innit?
But mate, I know many people in jail right now for association. I know 4 people that are doing life right now for association. I've done 5.5 years for association. My pal's doing 12 years right now for association. Another one of my mates got 18 years. 18 fucking years for an association. That was less than a year ago. Work it out. And all these gangsters that are associated to all the biggest villains in England are walking about, having coffees, drinking booze, and sniffing coke. Yeah? Hold on. How?
Ain't that the truth?
How? IPP. People are getting picked up and flipped on these fucking mad licenses, yeah? Yet none of these major villains have been given IPPs. None of these major gangsters, none of them have been given IPPs. The road people,
Right.
the gunmen have,
Right.
yeah? The stabbers have, but none of the main people. There's no major hitters with an IPP.
Yeah. And IPP, if you can just explain what that is for.
An IPP is an indeterminate sentence where the police, the probation, and the prison have to unanimously decide that you're fit to be released to the community.
Right.
And there's no time frame on it.
Right.
There's people in there doing 3 years, a 3-year IPP. They've been in jail 14 years, mate. So I mean, it's a fucking get up, and it pisses me off. So there's a lot of things that need to be done about the law, and lots of things to be done about that fucking incarceration shit they do in this country, because it's all a load of bollocks. And I'm going to prove that their rehabilitation strategies are shit, and they won't work, and they'll never work. But the outcomes that I create in the next 2 years, you've heard it here first, right? The outcomes I'm going to create in the next 2 years, I'm going to ram it up the government's arsehole and tell them, fix your fucking life up. Because I've been doing it on my own. I've already got fucking maybe 22 people employment since 2014. Now, it's done a lot. It's not a lot, right? It's not a lot.
It's more than them, though.
No, it's not more than them. But it's 22 people that I can guarantee are making over 100 grand a year.
I mean, that's better than anything they've done. Do you know what I mean?
And I know that. I've got some of the biggest artists on this planet I've helped pump and push. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've helped people in different ways. Like, and when I'm old, people are going to say, was that Marv? Yeah, I say, yeah, Marv helped me. Because I don't look for the gratification of everybody. Do you know what I mean? I even tell people, make sure you don't fucking tell no one helps you, you know? So I don't want everybody saying, oh, Marv can do it, and then everyone drives me mad. But what I say to people is this: get in the gym and show me what you can do, and I'll help you. If they're not prepared to give themselves 100%, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? I need 100%. I need you to give you 100%, then I'll give you 50% or 20% of what I've got.
I respect it.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
if you want me to give you 100%, then you got to be my child.
I feel
And you're not that. You're not that. And I tell everybody that. You're not a child. So you got to give yourself 100%, and I can guarantee you the 5 or 10% I'll give you will take you to another level.
Great advice.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what I do. So unless they're in the gym, eating healthy, fuck off. I'm not interested. Because if you ain't going to give it to yourself, what are you going to give me?
Beautiful.
Bare yarns, mate.
Put, yeah.
Come on. That's what I do. And anybody that works with me does well.
Quality.
Does well.
Sure. So if I can touch back, because you gave a mention about being extradited from Spain back to England. So what was the whole events around that? If you could tell us.
Well, I'll tell you what happened then, right? So I'm in Manchester. I'm doing some bits and pieces in Manchester with some villains. One villain had me over for 1.6 million quid. But he pulled a scam for 1.6 million quid. He pulled my pants down, and I was trying to get the money back off him. He put a contract out on my life, and he wanted to get me killed. There was Osman warnings backwards and forwards between me and this guy, and then basically, an Osman warning is a threat to life. So when the police have evidence that you're going to be killed, they have to notify you and offer you the opportunity to go into protection. Right? So when they've notified me, I told them, don't worry about it, I don't give a fuck, blah, 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 blah. So I've had all these Osman warnings off these people in Manchester. Anyway, what happened is 2 drug dealers have had a bit of beef. Now, one of the drug dealers asked one of the youngsters if he could take care of a business for him. I want you to shoot someone. So he paid someone to go and shoot someone. The person's gone and shot someone, and then the police have said that it was Dale Cregan that's done the shooting, although Dale Cregan never done the shooting. Someone else done the shooting. Right. They said it was Dale Cregan. So then what happened was Dale Cregan, the kid that got shot was the son of an ex-gangster. And the gangster turned around and said, yeah, that when he sees Dale Cregan's son, he's going to kill his son. With that, Dale Cregan said he's going to kill this fella. So then he's gone to kill the fella, and then he's hand grenaded him. When he's hand grenaded him, he's gone round his friend's house, shot his friend and hand grenaded him as well.
Right.
And Yeah. And then basically, he's gone on the run for, I don't know, a few months. And then he's ended up calling the police one day. The police turn up to a suspected burglary.
Sure.
He walks out and shoots the 2 female police officers 20 odd times and then hand grenades them both. And then basically he went on the run. And they said, I got him on the run. And then when he shot the police officers, he went and handed himself straight in.
Right.
And then he's doing 2 45-year recommended sentences right now. And I was put up in that. So when they've come to nick me, basically what happened, because I was having it with this fellow in Manchester, me and Lee was having it with each other. Now, Lee's niece went horse riding with my daughter, right? So my daughter used to go to Manchester because I was living in Manchester, I'm backwards and forwards all the time. So every time I went to Manchester with my daughter, she came to me, and then she went out with my pal's niece, horse riding while we went and done business. So she had to wear I'm going out for the weekend, my daughter will come with me, and she'll go horse riding with the youngsters, go swimming with the youngsters, go to cinema with the youngsters. I'm doing business, I'll pick up and we come back home. So anyway, Pat has rung my ex-partner 3 years later and asked if Tegan was coming horse riding with the niece.
Right.
And then the police said that was the conduit for the 4 murders, when there was no proof or no evidence to substantiate that house contacted me.
Right.
Yeah, or I contacted that house. So there was no contact to me in that house for 3 months until my daughter and my son come on their school holiday, summer holidays to Spain, and they're trying to say that that's when the kids told me to come and commit the murders, and it all happened. Now, it was all bollocks, but that was the reason the police said they got the extradition order, because that was a conduit that started the 4 murders was that phone call, they said.